I've reviewed thousands of dollars worth of gear on this channel over the course of the last 8 years, and I thought I knew what great gear was. Turns out, though, that I was optimizing for the wrong things entirely. Figuring out what mattered to me changed everything. For many years, trends, popularity, and scarcity of gear really drove my decisions when it came to purchasing gear, and I didn't really fully realize it. This video's about that journey, where I started, what changed, and what question I ask that makes any gear decision obvious. My name is Jonathan, this is TL Toneworks, and let's get started. Now, 2 years ago, it dawned on me that I had way too much gear and I should start to trim things down. But the real issue for me was I didn't know how to go through that whole process. Like, how do I quantify what is worth keeping and what I should sell? The first problem I encountered was the fear of missing out. What if I have a pedal here that in 2 years is worth 3 times the price tag because John Mayer had it on his board, right? We know that effect. What if I sell something because currently I don't like it because I misunderstand it, but in a few years from now, I want to acquire the same pedal again, but now it's too expensive. I can't justify buying it. So that fear kind of clouded my judgment when it came to figuring out what was worth keeping and what I should get rid of. So eventually I came into the home studio and I encountered the first issue, which was option paralysis. I had way too many pedals, all the options available to me, and when I would A/B the pedals, they all sounded great. And when everything sounds great, determining what is best stops having any meaning. So after weeks of giving up on the process, one day I came down here, grabbed a small pedal board. I just went over there, grabbed some pedals, and I really wasn't overthinking it. I just grabbed some of my go-to, made a pedal board, super quick, sat there, and I played for hours. And when you lose track of time, that's a really good indicator that you're being inspired. So riffs are coming out. I'm having fun. I got, smile from here to here. And I look at the time and it felt like maybe like 15 minutes, but almost 2 hours went by. Something clicked. What pedals were on that board, you ask? Well, I'm going to be sharing that with you, but the real focus isn't really the pedals themselves, but what I learned in the process of just sitting here and having fun. Now, instead of just demoing all the pedals and showing you and trying to convince you these are great, I'm just going to be talking about what they actually got me to really clue into as to why I kept coming back to them. So if you want to listen to these pedals, I'm going to curate some of my best demos, or at least what I think are the best examples. I'm going to make a playlist. I'm going to pin it in the comments so you can go watch those. But for this video, I just want to get straight to the point. The first one was this, the Hagerman 12AX7 driver. It has a tube in it and it sounds fantastic. It's got great low gain tones. It stacks well with a tube screamer or Klon type pedal. No matter what amp I plug it into, it sounds great. And it's one of those like first stage overdrives that I keep coming back to. So I like having a boost, a first stage overdrive, and combining the two just gets me that searing lead tone. The second one is this guy. So if you're familiar with my channel at all, I've been praising the Way Huge Red Llama Mark II for many, many years. This one, I just liked the look of it initially. I was like, hey, that looks like a cool pedal. Someone told me, yeah, it's got like this tweedish, almost like fuzz type tone. I was like, cool. And then when I plugged it into the AC-15, I was like, whoa, this is like, that's the tone I want. Like, that's my low gain overdrive tone. I've been looking for that for years. I didn't know it was in there. Again, great low gain. Stacks well with a tube screamer. If you've ever heard about the camel toe from Way Huge, it's basically the Red Llama and the Green Rhino stacked together. It sounds great with every single amp I put it through. Another thing I hadn't paid attention to, and it's a great first stage overdrive. And lastly, when it comes to overdrive, there's this guy. This is the FFX Arc of Tone. Believe it or not, that's my signature pedal. 2 of these in one box where you can stack them together. And on a pedal board, this is what I put like 90% of the time. Whenever I feel like that might not be the right thing with the guitar or amp, I go for one of the other 2 pedals I just showed you. The very first amp I'm going to be talking about was a dream amplifier for me. the 5150 combo. So it's the only example in everything I have here of a great high gain amplifier. It also does low gain fairly well. The biggest takeaway from me is I love the low gain, the high gain tones, and this amp really inspires me to play. The Vox AC50 came about because I did a video about, I want to say 3 years ago, where I was looking at all the best amps that were produced by Vox in the 1960s. Fast forward a few months, someone puts up an ad. I was still in Belgium at the time. That amp with the cab and the trolley for €1,000. And that amp became kind of like the epitome of what I consider to be great clean tones. So it sounds great clean. It takes pedals extremely well. And every time I play with it, I'm inspired and I lose track of time. I didn't really know anything much about Rivera when I got this amplifier. I also got this when I was in Belgium. Got it on a trade. And at first I thought it was a bit daunting, but when I figured it out, I noticed that the amp was extremely versatile, but you don't have to use all the features. You can keep it super simple. It's got a great Fender clean tone. It's got a great hot rodded Marshall tone, but I usually use it for lower gains. And every time I play with it, it's inspiring. Perhaps more surprising on my choice of amp would be the Fender Pro Junior right over there. It's got great low gain overdrive. It takes pedals really well. Sure, it's got limited feature. There's only like a volume and a tone knob. But here's the thing. Those limited set of features are inspiring me to try the amp in different ways. So I'm trying it in a wet-dry setup. I'm trying it with a pedal board and different pedals so I can get all the features that are lacking from the amp, but get them from pedals. So all four of these amps, whenever I play with them, the same thing happens. I'm inspired, I play for a long time, and I love the tones that are coming out of there, and I'm always trying to squeeze the more low gain tones out of all four amplifiers. When it comes to guitars, there's really four of them that I go for. I have more than four, but these are the four that I really focus on. Over here, you have a 2024 American Strat. It's a Professional 2. When I saw it on the wall, I fell in love. I thought it was gorgeous. I grabbed it. The neck was super comfortable. It sounded great. I didn't feel a need to change the pickups in it. And it really inspired a different way of playing for me. So I'm not much of a blues guy, but I've always associated Strats with blues. So whenever I grab this, I go for your blues dad riffs. That's the guitar for that. Next to it is a Ormsby Hype GTR Ando-san model. This one here inspires something different. I went into the store, I saw it, I was like, ooh, what is that? And then I moved my head and I was like, it goes from gold to purple. What the hell is that? Grabbed the guitar, played it. The neck felt super comfortable. The guitar looked awesome, and it inspired my roots as a player, which was death metal. That guitar just brought that out, and combine that with the 5150, I was having fun. The other guitar over here, the black one, is a 2000 Fender Telecaster. It's a Mexican one, and that guitar, in my opinion, beats anything that's worth like 2-3K at a music store from Fender, the American stuff. I've modded it to my own liking. I've put in the miles, and that guitar inspires classic rock, more twangy stuff. Whenever I try to do my hack, like country riffs, that's what I use. So this guitar is inspiring something completely different from me. Next to it is, in my opinion, the most beautiful guitar I own. It's a Gretsch 5622T. So it's not like a $3,000 Gretsch. It's actually, I think it's part of the Electromatic series. The pickups in there are great. It's not the most, how would I say this? The neck isn't made for speed. It's not made for hard riffing, but it's almost like a bridge between acoustic and electric guitar for me, where this guitar inspires songs. So whenever I play it, I use delay or whatever, it seems like I can come up with some really sweet guitar playing as opposed to just like going for the dad rock kind of thing. These four guitars, those are the things that, to my heart, are what I play and what I don't want to get rid of. When I finally sat down, wrote down the piece of gear and the reasons why I loved it, there's really four clues that emerge from that list. The first one is inspiration. What matters to me is when I plug into it, am I having fun? That's first clue. The second one is compatibility. I hadn't seen that pattern yet, but if I grab a pedal, I want it to feel the same way no matter which amp or guitar I'm using. And I want it to interact well with the other pedals I've chosen to put on my board on that specific day. If it starts to feel like friction, I'm not really enjoying it, it's going to get off the board. The other one is low gain seems to dominate. Whether it's the amplifier or the pedals, that's really what I enjoy. I enjoy low gain and just boosting it with something else in the front to get to those lead tones. The fourth one is that each guitar is inspiring something completely different from my playing. Initially, I thought the amp was the most important thing for me, but it turns out that when it comes to actually writing a riff, coming up with a song, it's not the amp that's the most important for me. It's actually the guitar. How I missed that is a complete mystery to me. Gear isn't just a tool for me. Gear is the muse by which I go to write new songs or come up with new riffs. If the gear I'm using gets in the way of my playing, it's gone. If the gear I'm using doesn't work well with everything else I have, it's also gone. I also know what I like in terms of tone. Low gain, be it the amp or the pedals. It doesn't matter which one, that's where I'm at, that's where I live. It's that low gain territory. And knowing that the amp wasn't the thing that mattered to me the most, and it was actually the guitar, has changed my approach to how I value that hierarchy of gear. When you think the amp is the most important thing and you kind of overlook the guitar, you end up modding the guitars, you end up, changing the neck, changing the pickups, etc., because you're looking for a certain playability and a certain responsiveness, but you're focusing on the wrong piece of gear. Now, I invite you to make your own list. Take the piece of gear, write down what you like about it. Your behavior already leaves clues as to what really matters to you. The takeaway is this: you don't need other gear. You don't need more expensive, less expensive, rare, commonly available. Those are distractions. If you sit down with the gear you have and you really try to understand what it makes you feel like, if it inspires you, or what your real values are as a musician, if you go down this list, you'll get to find out that no one knows better than you. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, there's another one just like it appearing on screen right now. Click on this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.